A little over a week ago, I began sharing with you some information from Dr. Henry Cloud, a Christian author and Christian psychologist. As I've told you, to me, his most famous collaborative work is the book Boundaries. He's written another book. He's written several, but one is Churches That Heal, or a healing church. Um, this book, Churches That Heal, gets into helping people go through the growth that they need in order to live happy and fulfilled lives. He shared with us, as I have again kind of gone on with you, the last time was day before yesterday on Wednesday, about a simple formula that's found throughout Scripture. It's one that has the power to make anything better. And the three ingredients that are necessary for growth. It's a formula that's found in Luke 13, verses 6 through 9. So I'll repeat that for you. A man had a fig tree growing in his vineyard, and he went to look for fruit on it, but did not find any. So he said to the man who took care of the vineyard, "For 3 years now, I've been coming to look for fruit on this fig tree and haven't found any. Cut it down. Why should it use up the soil?" "Sir," the man replied, "leave it alone for 1 more year and I'll dig around it and fertilize it. If it bears fruit next year, fine. If not, then I'll cut it down." We already covered the first two ingredients. So if you don't mind to take a look back at a few of the vlogs before to look at them. Because number one is that we have to dig up the truth about who we are and what's going on in our lives. And number two is that we have to apply grace to that. So that brings us to the last ingredient. We're going to have to give it time. Giving something time isn't attending one meeting or one retreat or one counseling session. It doesn't look like a quick fix. You can't take a tree and dip it in the dirt once a weekend and expect it to grow. You have to plant it in a process where it gets watered over and over and over again. It gets pruned, it gets fertilized. Henry Cloud says, "I have a friend who was a horrible alcoholic. He lost 3 families and 3 businesses before he got into recovery. And now he's been sober for 30 plus years. I asked him, 'How did you get sober?' And he responded, 'Oh, it wasn't hard. I went to 3 AA meetings a day.' He said his goal was to make it from the end of one meeting to the beginning of the next one without stopping at a liquor store in between. Then after a while, he was able to move to 1 meeting a day and then eventually to a few meetings a week." I don't know what your dosage level is, but I do know this. It's not one injection. Likewise, you don't eat one meal and have it last you through the year. God has given us a metabolic function where we take what we did in a group or in another meeting, then we go out, we live it, then we fail, then we do well, and then we keep coming back again and again. And that's called growth. So here's what I want you to do, Cloud says. I want you to take the parable of the fig tree and ask yourself, what are the ways in which I'm getting the grace, the truth, and the time that I need? Consider why healing or growth hasn't happened for you in the past. Maybe you had 2 of the 3 elements. Let me tell you this. God does not expect you to change by yourself, by your own knowledge, by your own strength, by your own wisdom. If that was possible, he would not have had to die. Look about how much God believes in your inability. We judge ourselves by our inability, but he embraces the idea of our inability so deeply that he died for it. Now, what are we doing judging ourselves and anyone else when he died to stop the judgment? Jesus didn't die just to leave us as we are, depressed and anxious and so on. He died to begin the process of removing the judge that kills the growth. Jesus sanctified us over time by bringing us the grace and truth that will heal what ails us. It's that healing power that gives me hope for every individual and every Christian community who are struggling with the unique mental health challenges present in today's cultures. And then Cloud says this, I want to help. Cloud has dedicated himself to over 4 decades of developing resources to help us meet the challenges, to lift the veil over on the conversation of mental health in the church. So he has a book and a website that I would encourage you to go to. It's called Churches That Heal. He considers it the culmination of his life's work in this arena. Go to it and look at what you think about it. We want to be a church that heals. We want to help in the growing process, not the judging process. Let's work together to take the next steps of our healing journey. God bless. Have a great weekend.